Hello there, and welcome back to Walking in Wisdom, formerly Sosa Walking in Wisdom. And before we begin this particular character analysis, where we consider everything character, so we can develop fearless leaders throughout the diaspora, starting with the Nollywood industry and the Nigerian youth. We want to take this time to lift up our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, in Sudan, and globally who are being persecuted regardless of their faith. And man and woman of faith, indeed, if you're following the man who the world knows is Jesus Christ, the Messiah, and that has already been proven, tested, and tried, continue to keep the faith. Remember, we're living in precarious times and we are expected to be persecuted. So while we could live in faith and we have the protection of the Most High, some of that belief comes with a level of persecution, whether you agree with it or not, but it is indeed biblical. But we're keeping everyone in prayer. Please continue to follow the Bible, not man, not anyone else, but what does says the Most High in the scripture. Now back to walking in wisdom in our character analysis. And today we're going to consider Blessing Obasi television, The Wall Between Us, starring the beautiful Bam Bam and the very handsome and dashing Stan Nessie, the husband of Blessing Obasi. And she's very generous for loaning a husband in these movies. So I give this young lady the respect that she deserves. If you have not yet subscribed to Blessing Obasi television, she's at 172K. Please be sure to go ahead and do so amidst everything else that's going on. And for that, indeed, we say thank you. Before we break down 5 tips on how to transform your wall that you've built up based on childhood trauma so that you can grow and glow and allow love in, let's remind you this is Walking in Wisdom. And thank you for all of you who have taken up the mantle and decided that if you're going to demand more of your leaders, you should demand more of yourself first. So we can be ethical leaders in our homes, in our schools, in our university campuses, in our corporate jobs, whether we are entrepreneurs, in our own workplace, and of course, as husbands and wives and as daughters and sons. And if we do the work that I am citing here, just following the Nollywood movies, because we have great faith-based movies indeed, we can do the work and level up. We can see ourselves in most of these characters. And I'm simply asking if you want to take up the challenge, man or woman of faith, now that you know better and you desire to do better, join us on the journey. This elite group of individuals who is saying yes to themselves and yes to the responsibility of being better citizen for the kingdom. Absolutely. So please go ahead and subscribe, fan out, share, like the thumbs up, comment, drive the algorithm so more individuals throughout the diaspora will get your hands on this. And of course, we have to give a shout out to our girl, Sonia Uche Television. She's at 1.12 million subscribers. Please be sure to continue to subscribe. Let's make it 2, 3, 4, 5 million strong indeed. And yes, we will be analyzing her latest movie, To Win a Heart. If you have not seen it, please be sure to do so. It's at 1.2 million views. Now it's back to Blessing Obasi television, and we're indeed looking at the movie, The Wall Between Us. And I have to say, this is a deeply challenging and painful core experience that many women face. Based on the statistics, we have many more single women, especially in the West, than we should need to. And if you're man and woman of faith, we should all be aware that we are called, man and woman, to come together. Leave your families, leave your husband, leave your parents, and come together as one. And in order for a ship to navigate, there's only one captain. So allow the husbands to be led by the Creator if he's a man of God, and therefore you should be looking for your Odogwu, who indeed is a man of faith, following the Bible. And then if you're on Achalugo, you're also a virtuous woman, Proverbs 31 woman, following the Bible and understanding the role of the man in the relationship. He used to help He is to lead the home, you serve as his helpmate, but is indeed complementary for the fulfillment of a godly home, of a faith-based home, raising God-fearing children. And that's the impetus. Unfortunately, throughout the years, we have been told a lie. I will include myself as a single woman today, where it was important for us to go to school, get our education, and become independent. And while I do not fault on my parents for raising me independently, so that I can thrive on my own and not select a wrong person, right? Rather than seeking an Odogwu, and waiting for my Odogwu, I was and I am still financially independent in a way where I can commit to the Most High and wait for the person that He promised for me rather than to selecting anyone and weeding through the grass, right? So in this particular film, what you see is a fiercely independent, beautiful young woman played by Bam Bam. And because of her experience at home, seeing her mother mistreated by her husband, who made a promise to her on the wedding day. And instead of lifting up his wife, he mistreated her. And Bam Bam's character witnessed this as a child. Now, as an adult, as a young woman, she says, that is never going to happen to me because I'm going to have my own. I'm going to take care of my own. And while it's okay to be independent, to be fiercely independent, what happens is that you put a wall around you. And majority of times, I know it, it can be a brick wall and it's very hard to climb over. And some individuals who decide it's worth it can be exhausted just trying to get midway. And that's the emphasis of this movie. So let's get into it. Great movie. Definitely go see it. Beautiful message, beautiful acting. Really, 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 I would say you need to go see this movie if you're Generation Z, millennial, if you're single and you're doing your part and you're wondering what's going on. So, 5 character growth tips for transforming that wall. So, we're not talking about selecting anyone or choosing anyone. That's not a value. That's not your Odogwu. We're looking at preparing yourself for your Odogwu and knowing and recognizing it, my apologies, when he appears, so that wall can completely be dismantled, one brick at a time by the right Odogwu. So number one, you want to reframe your independence from fear-based to freedom-based. And the current independence is likely driven by the fear of being vulnerable, dependent, and ultimately abandoned based on what Bam character witnessed, the way her father treated her mom. So to level up, recognize that true strength is needing no one, but having the courage to choose who you depend on. Ultimately, you're depending on your Creator, the Most High. But if He sends you your Dugu, a man of God, then certainly you could let down a few rocks, bricks, the entire wall, and begin to work alongside him in your God divine purpose, which is to be his helpmate. So actionable tips: practice vulnerability in low stakes environment, and that will allow you to get ready for the real game. Number two, process the mother's lesson, not the father's reaction. So the lesson internalized might be dependency leads to destruction. However, the true pain was the mistreatment, not the dependency itself. So learn to separate the two. So to level up, separate the narratives. And your actionable tip, journal about the difference between trust and blind faith. And you ask, what are the specific, measurable character traits, actions, and boundaries that I require in a partner, friend, and ultimately your Dugu? And the leadership angle here is understanding the situation, so situational analysis and elevating your emotional and spiritual intelligence. Number three, turn the wall into a gate. Define and practice boundaries, which is perfectly okay. The wall is a nuclear defense system and it keeps everything out. A gate is a system of boundaries that allow you to be the gatekeeper, letting only what is safe and beneficial, man of God. And not every man of God, because we know we have wolves in sheep's clothing, but the right man of God, your Odogwu indeed. The level up, the goal is not to dismantle the defense entirely, but to install an access control system, maybe even with the codes, and you get to give out that code to your Odogwu. Actionable tip: practicing no to small, non-essential requests that drain your energy, and then practice a boundary statement in a relationship if you get there. Like, for example, I appreciate your input, but I need to make this decision on my own. But don't say it all the time. In this movie, she said it repeatedly in every single situation. So the man, who typically have egos, they feel, and he felt in this particular situation, that he was not needed. He has a secret sisters, daughters of Zion. Your Odogwus need to feel needed by you. And not pretense. We're not talking about pretense, but really feel needed. It's okay to ask for help. And the leadership angle here is claim boundaries, which creates psychological safety. Tip number 4, search for healthy evidence, the antidote. The traumatic event created a powerful negative evidence folder. So, for example, in her mind as a little girl, men leave and trust is fatal. To level up, really is about actively searching for long positive counter evidence and really judge the book by its cover, give everyone an opportunity, and practice discernment if you're a woman of faith. The level up, challenge the universal belief structure by seeking out and internalizing examples of secure, independent relationships, interdependent relationships. And you could easily pick this up just by associating, not being a recluse, associating with other individuals. An actionable tip: identify 1 or 2 secure, functional couples or friendships that exist and observe them closely. How do they handle conflict? Or just simply ask. And how do I apologize? And again, on this platform, these stories, the narratives, and the characters really display so many complex characters so you can glean even without having to ask your friends, because most of these characters we can relate to in our life. What the movie here in Nollywood, the movies allow for is a breadth of different characters indeed. So the leadership angle is great leaders are indeed data driven. This is about actively collecting relationship data, and I would encourage you to use these wonderful Nollywood storylines to seek wisdom and then come back and check, of course, for our character analysis. And number 5, develop self-compassion for a young survivor. The fierce, walled-off adult is doing the job of the terrified child who witnessed the mistreatment. So to level up, offer compassion to the younger self who built the wall, especially when a good friend in this movie, her cousin, saw what she witnessed, and she was not a frenemy. She was very candid and gave her solid advice. If by chance you're not seeing it and you have a person in your life you really trust and they are saying counter to what you're thinking and feeling, it's okay to let your guard down and trust the advice of that person with wisdom. Actionable tip: write a brief private letter to your younger self and thank you. You kept us safe, and your strength is the reason why we're here today. Your mission now is complete. I am the adult, having taken over the security detail. You can now rest now. Rest assured that I've learned I'm a woman of faith, and our Creator will guide us to our Odogwu. It's okay to write a letter to yourself. And the leadership angle simply self-awareness and self-compassion, growing your emotional intelligence, and don't peg every man as a bad man, good man. You should have enough emotional intelligence to know good man when you see one. And one good man is someone who says, I want to do this for you. No strings attached. You have to be able to see your Odogwu when he appears. So, having said that, that concludes this character analysis for the beautiful movie, The Wall Between Us. And one of the better relationship movies. I love the way it ended. It can easily be a part two. I see a lot of the comments saying there should be a part two. So, Sister Blessing Obasi, Sister Jennifer Blessing Obasi, the beautiful Sister Jennifer Blessing Obasi. If by chance you see this character analysis, part two, please. If you agree, leave a comment, thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, fan out to Blessing Obasi. Be sure to, of course, fan out, subscribe, thumbs up for this character analysis. And if by chance you would like us to do a character analysis in a movie you have not seen on our character analysis or shorts, please be sure to share with us. Leave it in the comments, and we'll be happy to do so. As a leadership coach, I'm merely dissecting movies I enjoy, and it's for the love of Nollywood. And again, please, family throughout the diaspora, let's keep our brothers and sisters in prayer that are being persecuted for their respective faiths, whether it's in Sudan or Nigeria, and or the Caribbean, wherever, as well as in the West, in Canada, in England, in the United States. The brutality is there, so please let's keep our family in prayer. And as always, shalom.